Good morning and welcome to another video with Racing Breaks. Now, before we get started, do not forget that if you like our racing videos, if you want to see the new events that we go to, hear about what the trainers and jockeys have to say, then you need to like and subscribe all of our pages. So you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then every time that we post a new video, it just sends you a little notification. We're not going to be bugging you all the time, don't worry. So today we are really excitingly meeting trainer Charlie Fellows. We're going to hear about his epic Melbourne Cup story. We're going to hear about his new runners for the year and get a little look around his yard, so we're really excited. How long have you been here then? Can we start with the Melbourne Cup?
Yeah.
Tell me everything, it was just amazing. Is that on? It's on now.
Oh, okay. Where to start? It was a bit of a blur, really. The plan came about in Dubai. His owners are from Dubai, and they said they wanted runners at the carnival, and he seemed like the perfect horse. And the staying division out at the Dubai carnival tends to be quite weak, especially building up, and then obviously World Cup night gets strong. So we'd hatched a plan to send him over there, see if he could run well, and then the rest of the year would fall into line back in England. But he thrived over in Dubai, absolutely loved it. Obviously he second first time out, then he won, and then he ran really well in the World Cup, in the Gold Cup on World Cup night. And we then thought, well, look, if we could get him up a little bit more, he might get into Australia. And so the rest of the plan for the whole year was to get into running the Melbourne Cup.
Quietly.
Yeah, but you have to place in a group race.
Yeah.
Is one of the qualifications for running in the Melbourne Cup, and then his handicap mark needed to get up as well. So I was trying to find a group race that I thought he could place in. So we decided to go to America for the Belmont Gold Cup. He finished third. And then we came back to England, and they only put his mark up to 109, I think. And really you had to be sort of 112, 113. And so I ran him in the Northumberland Plate, where we were a bit unlucky, finished second. Mark went up to 114 and we were in business. And so we went down to Australia, and then I sort of thought that we'd go down there and he'd probably run some nice races but wouldn't quite be good enough. And then he ran a huge race first time out in the Herbert Power, was very unlucky. And then I made probably the most inspired decision. At the time it could have been a ridiculously stupid decision, but in hindsight it was inspired, and decided to run him 3 days before the Cup. And I just felt that the track would really suit him, and that it would be the best chance he had of winning. And it was a win and you're in for the Melbourne Cup, and he won it. And it was ridiculous. Like, I've never experienced anything like it. The media attention from between those two races, between the Lexus and the Melbourne Cup, was just nuts.
Yeah. Literally
phone going every 5 minutes, radio stations wanting an interview. We got we smashed it the night of the Lexus. So we had a big press conference, and I was given a 3-line win. I was like, whatever you do, you're fine, go and have a good fun, but you've got to be at that press conference.
What time was it at?
9 o'clock in the morning. Because after the Lexus, they do the draw, because you're the winner of the Lexus is the last horse to get into the Melbourne Cup. They do the draw for the Melbourne Cup straight after the race. And for the draw, you will get given these sticks with a big sign on it and the horse's colours and name on it. Anyway, so we do the draw, and we nicked our sign with Prince of Arran on it. So we were going all over the night in the club with the stick with Prince of Arran on it. And
you're like when the Breeders' Cup people, they took their big I don't know what they're called, those like rose garlands they get.
Yeah.
There's a picture of them laying it on the bar in a nightclub.
Really? Yeah, exactly like that. Exactly like that. Anyway, I turned up, still drunk.
Had you been to bed?
I had just.
Briefly.
But not very long. Luckily I had a driver to the track and they'd sorted me all out and yeah, I got there, and the Aussies, they love that though. They love that.
They love a drink.
But they love the fact that we were enjoying it. I think they got a bit used to maybe.
They liked the story, the pictures, everything behind it.
I think they've got kind of used to quite stuffy, sort of older trainers going, English European trainers going over and acting very serious and sort of, and yet there we were, obviously taking it incredibly seriously, but also
really
loving every minute of it. And it was amazing. And then obviously the Melbourne Cup happened, and yeah, I thought he was going to win. Just got picked off at the end, but it was amazing.
And how different is the Melbourne Cup compared to, say, like an English racing festival with the parade and the, like you say, that whole big press around it?
No, the only time I have ever experienced anything on that level, and this was a long time ago, and I actually wish I'd been training longer when I'd done it, because I didn't really appreciate it at the time, was I had a runner in the Breeders' Cup in my first year training. I'd been training, 8 months or so, and the media attention there. I remember walking out Santa Anita racetrack and just photographers being everywhere, and I was just like, oh my god.
Feel like a celebrity.
You do, like literally, and that was ludicrous. This was a whole new level. Obviously you mentioned the parade, which is incredible, and they say, obviously you hear about the Melbourne Cup parade. I've never been to it.
And anyone can go, you don't need tickets or anything.
Anyone can go, and I thought it was just going to be a little parade. You get in an open top car, they'd put you, and there'd be 100 people lining the row. It was 5 or 6 deep, lining a mile stretch drive through the centre of Melbourne. And it was nuts, just people there, out there, the loudspeakers introducing everyone, and it was so surreal. And then they did a press conference at the end. But yeah, amazing.
And then Cup Day itself, I think because obviously it has all that massive build-up, do you feel that in the air?
So interestingly, Cup Day was completely different, because I don't know if you remember, the weather on the morning of the Cup was horrendous. They got I can't remember off the top of my head how much it was.
No, I do,
but
remember
it was
a washout.
Ludicrous. And then I can't remember who it was. Someone at lunch said, look, don't be forlorn. Flemington it takes the water remarkably well. And after a couple of races, it became apparent that the water just hadn't made any effect whatsoever, and it had barely got in. And so then you start to get a bit nervous again. Melbourne was, I've worked there. I've worked there before. I worked there for a year when I was younger, 10 years ago. So I've been out there before, but it's a great place. And gosh, I could not recommend it more. There's the atmosphere. They do it properly out there. The racing is phenomenal. Yeah, and everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to know about the race and the atmosphere. I've never experienced an atmosphere like it.
If you've liked our video and you'd like to see more, make sure that you subscribe, button just here, and leave any comments below.